Hi everyone, welcome to Buckle Up Podcast. I'm Natalia Earle and I'm a certified business and life coach that loves talking to people. I'm fascinated by humans and how our brain works. What is it that makes a decision good or bad, and how does that decision ultimately shape our path and destiny? Everyone loves to talk about success, but what about the flip side? How about adversity? Failure is such a big and often necessary part of life, and it's simply unavoidable. So I invite you to join me on this inspiring, honest, unpolished interview show with breathtakingly real conversations that go deep on setbacks and hardships that are part of the puzzle that ultimately lead to growth, discovery of inner greatness, and what makes us resilient. Grab your helmet and buckle up, people. It's going to be a bumpy ride. But what a ride it will be. Today's guest is Zeenat Siman, a professional organizer and productivity consultant in Miami. She works with busy working parents to organize their homes so they can have a calm, tidy home that they're proud of and they're happy to show off. And she has the shortcuts to share with you so you can get organized and stay organized easily. Zeenat is a wife, mom, chemical engineer, and MBA. She founded Firefly Bridge in 2017 with a mission to teach others how to simplify and organize, just like she did, so they can live a life that feels unburdened and full of joy.
About organizing and how organizing will change your life, and I understand that organizing will change, and it has changed my life, because the more organized I am, the easier it is for me to see everything around me. But organizing in and of itself isn't the thing that will bring happiness and that kind of thing. What it brings, and what I impart to the people that I work with, is it brings clarity. It makes you understand your essentials, what's essential to you to live with. And yes, it might start with your sock drawer, but once you've got that sock drawer, organized, aligned, and you can understand, I don't need 30 pairs of socks, I only need 10. And it starts there, and everything is a domino after that. Okay, my socks, the clothing, my work clothes. And what I've noticed over the past 5 years of working with clients is that we as women, as moms, and I tend to work mostly with moms, but we as working moms, we go through different phases of life, and we sometimes grieve those previous phases. We want to move on, but we're a little afraid and a little sad to leave things behind. And that's a reason why we tend to hang on to a lot of things from our kids' childhoods, from our previous lives. As a working mom, I can tell you that for 20 years, I carried around awards that I had, gotten from work, and
letters and recognition.
Right, all the recognition, because I felt like that was what made me me. And ultimately, it was understanding that what was essential to me wasn't a while, but we got there.
Right. Yes. I'm the same way. Now I have gotten much better. Like, for me to ask help, it's like the world has to come to an end, like it's like my final last resort, but I've gotten so much better with that. And as a woman, I think a lot of women are okay being vulnerable, but for me, it didn't come natural.
Right. That's so interesting. And I think, for me either, even though I always wanted to have a partner in my life. I always felt like, I should have a partner in my life and we should support each other. But when it came down to it, it was such a difficult thing to accept that support, which is odd.
Yes, but totally.
It'll start with, people will call me and say, oh, come help me organize my pantry. Sure, I love to organize pantries. Let me come in and I'll help you organize my pantry. But what always happens is that when you start organizing a pantry, I have to talk to you about, well, what's your routine in the morning? How do you use this pantry during the day? What are your habits around grocery shopping? And how easy is it for you to get your kids ready in the morning to be out the door to get to school, or for you to get ready to go to work? How does that pantry fit into that? But then it's not only the pantry, is it? It's the pantry and your morning routine. Do you have one? Are you centered before your kids come in and drive us bonkers with all their questions and where are my socks, where are my shoes? Are you ready for your day and your morning And the pantry is only a little portion of
Right.
that. That's how
Right.
organizing works.
Yeah, because you start really diving into it, and I think you end up touching those deeper layers of, okay,
Kids have a very tough time with letting go. Once something is in your house, it all of a sudden has a huge value to it, right? It can be, a pen, it can be anything. But as soon as you've got that and it belongs to you, it all of a sudden it has this amount of value that makes it so difficult to let go. Kids more than adults, because we as adults, we understand, okay, I can give up this pen because at some point I'll be able to acquire another one if I need. Kids aren't like that. If they've got a toy, even if they've never used it, it's not their favorite toy, it's sitting in the corner, they resist getting rid of it. It's so hard for them to separate themselves from that toy because it's now in their home. It's so when my kids were very young, we started the whole process of, okay, we're going to go through toys, we're going to go through clothes like you did, and we're going to decide what goes and what stays. And now it's second nature to my kids for them to open a drawer and say, oh, these don't fit anymore. Or, you know what, I've never used this. Can you please
right.
give it away? Or can you please, give it to a cousin or donate it or whatever the case may be? And let me tell you that initially when that was when my kids were very young, that was even hard for me to let go of their toys and to let go of their little cute baby clothes and that kind of thing. But the earlier that they hear you talk about it, the better it will be for them when they're older and they're like me and moving 3-4 times with a bunch of kids and then having all of that stuff just weighing you down and burdening you. It's better that they know how to. Now they have to get rid of it with some amount of understanding and conscious what they're doing, right? Consciously giving, not just, oh, I've got a bunch of stuff in my house, now I'm just going to give it away. That's also a waste of money. We all feel buyer's remorse sometimes when we go and buy something. There's always a bit of guilt about buying something if it doesn't have multiple. Why would I buy a dress for one occasion?
Right.
Never. I would buy a dress if I can see in the future I would use it 10 more times. And this is why also when we as women, when our bodies change, when we grow a bit older, when we have kids, when whatever, we have a health condition, we have a number of things and our bodies change, and then, oh, our clothes don't fit. Oh no, now it's such a scary thing. There's fear around going to buy something else. My body's going to change again. Now I have to hang on to everything that I had because ultimately I might get back to that shape and I want to use it. Why would I give it away now and then have to repurchase all those things? And yes, the fear of being separate from those materialistic things is very real, and it's not trivial.
What do you find the biggest thing that comes up in your experience working with your clients when they have to make those hard decisions? What is the biggest adversity that they face at that moment?
It's the what if. And the guilt of having spent the money on it in the first place. Most people understand the value of what they have, right? So people will have 10 shirts that are almost the same color, almost the same style, whatever, but they understand very clinically that, yeah, I can let go of 5 of these or 6 or 7 of these shirts. I don't need all of these shirts. But the what if that shirt is the one that I will need to wear with those jeans on that night for this type of event that's coming up, and I've just gotten rid of it. And then I'll feel this disappointment in myself at not having it. I won't feel good in the clothes that I'm wearing. And the cycle goes on. Then I'm going to have to go and find something else, or I'm going to feel, terrible about going to buy something else. And then the guilt begins all over again. That's the biggest thing. The what if it comes up. And